Hey guys, we're back in the Crucifixion Woods to continue our exploration. You can reach this point on the far right of the map by dropping down from the path where you enter the woods. The first thing I see here is one of those giant crystal lizards behind a gate. But then I see something very unusual. A black knight. I'm pretty surprised. I decided to pull it over to me in case there was some sort of ambush if I just ran over there. He's one of the Greatsword Black Knights, which I had the most trouble with in Dark Souls 1. But the old backstab technique still works pretty well on these guys. Nevertheless, they hit like a truck, and as you can see, I have no choice but to fall back. Even then, he almost killed me. But I'm still able to backstab him and follow up for the kill. Their moves are a little bit different than in Dark Souls 1. And right away, I got the Black Knight armor. Pretty lucky drop for the first try. Armor of the Black Knights who roamed the lands. The knights served the first Lord Gwyn, and followed him into the flame upon its linking. They became ash, but still wander the realms to this day. In Dark Souls 1, the Black Knights were originally supposed to wander around the world, but they couldn't do it or they had problems with it, and so they scrapped the idea. But I guess it remains in the descriptions. The other interesting thing is that Lord Gwyn's name is right out there. People remember him linking the fire or know of the legend of him linking the fire. Here we've got the sellsword stuff. It's the starting gear for the mercenary. I did several minutes of Fashion Souls, but ended up basically sticking with the outfit I had on before. And the Sellsword Twin Blades are the weapon the mercenary starts with. I tried it out, but went back to my katana. Here I'm expecting some sort of ambush right before the item. But it looks like the Black Knight was enough to guard it, and it's the Farron Coal. Long ago, used to forge the great swords of the undead Legion of Farron. Give to the blacksmith in the shrine to allow the use of gems for heavy, sharp, and poison infusion. There are your strength and dex infusions. Now, this is the central part of the Crucifixion Woods between the two crabs. I just cut out the run back to it. I've only got 2 Estus, but I think I can take an NPC. It's only when I aggro him that I realize he's got a buddy and it's a 2-on-1. So I backstabbed him and then got the hell out of dodge to try to regroup. Or maybe split them apart. Here I'm trying to get in a hit on one while the other's rolling around, but it's not working too well because they cover each other. Later I realized that if you head off to where the crab is, the deep water slows them down quite a bit. Makes it a lot easier to separate them or manage them even if they're both there. But I didn't know it because this was my first time. And there, I was trying to stagger them, but they have hyper armor on their weapons. So as you can see, I'm not doing too well. Down to 0 Estus already. I'm kind of desperate, so I'm trying for the critical, but the guy knocked me out of it. Now I pull a few fireballs, try to see if they're weak to fire. Not really. But then, he decides to heal himself, so I have to go in for the backstab. So now I'm watching for that heal one more time. And here, I'm lucky as hell that the backstab animation triggered right before the swing hit me. I picked up the Great Club. which I can't ever use on this character. So now down to just a little bit of HP and no Estus. I'm reduced to throwing stuff at him. But I can see already that he likes that triple swing. So if I just back up when he does it, it should mostly avoid me. I snuck in a couple of hits, and he's almost dead. But so I'm going to try to finish him off with an arrow, but his weapon has a little AoE around it that tags me. I'm just really fortunate it doesn't do any damage, it's just stagger. Picked up the Exile Greatsword. So I'm off to see what those two NPCs were guarding that seems so important. I'm trying to get my bearings as to where I am in the level. At first I think this is a way to get back to that giant crystal lizard, but then I realized that it's probably where the Farron coal was, so that you could see it but couldn't reach it. So now I decide that I might as well push on a little bit and see what's down there. I hear something, so I'm taking it slow, and then I see a bonfire. I was pretty grateful for that bonfire, let me tell you. I'm still not sure if this is part of the Crucifixion Woods, but apparently it's a new area, Farron Keep. I take a quick look around, but it looks like it's a pretty big area, and I want to finish exploring the woods first. But before I do that, I'm going to head back to Firelink Shrine and give that coal to the blacksmith. Maybe infuse my weapon.
This coal is from the Undead Legion, used to forge the weapons of Farron's Abyss Watchers. A fine prize. I'm honored to be endued with it. Now I'll be equipped to infuse special gems. Praise the gods, eh? Time to put this brawn to use.
So here I am back at the Halfway Fortress bonfire. I like to go through areas off camera that I've already been through, kind of looking for stuff, in case I missed anything. And I noticed here that there's an item down there on what looks like a path. I'm trying to figure out how to get to it and where the path goes. It looks like it loops around. First, I'm trying to take the easy way just to drop down, but I realize I have to make a jump. So I see it. You can see I barely made it, and then I had to face the two dogs. So I got Morn's Ring and a Divine Tome of Kareem. A sacred braille tome from Kareem, filled with advanced miracles. Give to a storyteller to learn advanced Kareem miracles. In the Way of White, there's a tradition of placing great faith in the words of the blind. But then it's time to head back to Firelink and give that Braille tome to the nun. Let's see what her reaction is.
Oh, Champion of Ash, welcome back. Do you wish to hear a tale? You only have to ask. Oh, you've brought me a Braille divine tome. Now I can tell new tales of miracles. Tales of the greater miracles can be quite the epics. What fun we will have.
Alright, so we're back on the Road of Sacrifices in the Crucifixion Woods bonfire. And unfortunately, I lost some video because I found the boss of this area. Except he wrecked me straight up as soon as I got in there. I ate a face full of magic, and this is my my second try. But I had a Ring of Sacrifice, I think. So right now, I'm just trying to race through the room. And you can hear a summon sign sound if you listen close. I think that's Egon that you can summon, Egon of Kareem. And then we're back to face the Crystal Sage, who kicked my ass the first time really well. But this time, I'm ready for him. He staggers pretty easily, so I just decide to wail on him. There, I see him again. In my opinion, the best way to figure out a boss is just to attack him and react as well as you can the first time. Don't try to overanalyze it. Especially in the later From games, I think you should just be aggressive. And it'll help a lot. So here, I realized that the boss's life bar is not depleting when I hit these guys. And they must be fakes. At this point, I'm realizing that purple is the real one and the blues are fakes. So I'm trying to get rid of the fake so I don't get hit in the back. As you can see, he's pretty close to dead. He's swinging his rapier at me, got a couple of hits in. But it didn't really matter. He's not too hard a boss. And I got a Soul of a Crystal Sage. Soul of a Crystal Sage. The twin Crystal Sages once served as spiritual guides to the scholars of the Grand Archives, and one went on to ally with the Undead Legion. It's a very pretty soul, if I do say so myself. Lovely color. Because that boss fight went so well, I just decided to push on. And I hear the Crystal Lizard, but that cage guy's got my attention. And then one of them suicided. And both of the cage guys have decided to come after me. But luckily we've got a long, narrow path that I can funnel them down. There I was trying to hit both of them. Managed to do so. I really wanted to kill the one that was weaker. Then I can handle the one guy on his own. So by now I'm rethinking my decision to just push on without resting at the bonfire, but I don't want to face those guys again. So I spot the evangelist there, and she is guarding an item. Instead of trying to sneak up on her, I just decide to take her on. As you can see, I still haven't gotten the hang of their spiked mace yet. So here I'm trying to put the fire between us, but she doesn't take damage from the fire. I thought that was kind of unfair. And there, the terrain let her swing pass over my head, and I was able to kill her. So I got the Herald stuff, the starting gear for the class, did some faction cells, and decided to put on the white cape for a while. A very convenient bonfire appears, and I see it's the Cathedral of the Deep. Now what I'm thinking here at this point is that Aldrich has been referenced as Aldrich of the Deep. So I'm wondering right now if this is the path to one of the Lords of Cinder. And I'm figuring that I'll just go a little ways on the path to check it out. Because I don't really want to take on one of the Lords just yet. I still feel pretty weak. Spy out the land and see the guy up there. I'm still thinking about it. I realize it's the bandit guy from Dark Souls 1. And decide it's time for me to take him on. He's not too hard. I was able to parry him a lot in the first game. There's another path, but I decided to ignore it for now. So here I am, swinging away. Feeling pretty good about my chances. Only to realize that there's two of them. There's a guy in the Fallen Knight gear with, I think, a longsword. So once again, a 2-on-1. I'm dodging his skill there. I gotta admit, I might have heard these through my headphones, but I feel like I'm mostly dodging on instinct here, if I remember correctly. I just have kind of a feel for their attack timings. So it's just me and the Fallen Knight now. And she's got a bandit knife. I picked up the spider shield, but he gave me a little whack for it. And I see he's holding the bandit knife in kind of a parry position, so I'm a little cautious. There his weapon art beat mine. But that time I returned the favor. I was a little disappointed he didn't drop something. And yeah, I missed the Paladin's ashes that are behind that guy. I think I get him later. As you can see, the knife is just sticking out of my head there. So I'm looking around, trying to follow the path. Looks like there's no way to go but to drop down. The bonfire is pretty close, so I figure why the hell not. And I made a very interesting discovery, the Crest Shield. One of my favorite shields from Dark Souls 1. A knight's shield engraved with a crest, one of the enchanted blue shields. The Crest Shield greatly reduces dark damage. And it's got the parry skill. Not all the shields have that. The Spider Shield, for instance, doesn't have the parry skill. Oddly enough, the Crest Shield is good against dark damage in this game instead of magic. Not really sure how they justify that, but what can you do? After my little recon to the Cathedral of the Deep, I decided to take the other path instead. Until then, I'll see you next time.